Hello and welcome to the Adventure Archive. My name is Ryan and I'll be your dungeon master tonight as we continue our adventures in the Dark Kingdoms. With me, as always, we have Matt as Victor of the Calder, the human death cleric, Jess as Dariana Bloodright, the elf-marked Seraphage sorceress, Jason as Cutter the Faceless, the Darkul rogue duelist, and Eric as Sylvester, the Dhampir warlock with his spine devil familiar Annie. Andy, who plays our divination wizard gnome Beatum Dobblebreen, will once again not be with us this week, so Beatum stays in the bag. The Dark Kingdoms takes place in the Midgard setting, which is published by Kobold Press, so you will notice some differences in some of the races, classes, features, and whatnot. And also, please be aware this is an evil campaign containing evil aligned characters in a dark fantasy setting, and as such, may not be suitable for everyone. Graphic descriptions of gore, murder, mutilation, and torture are fairly common. So, hello, everyone. Hello, Amerison. How are you? I see Skull as well. How's everybody doing tonight?
Awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
How was the chat?
Fantastic.
Amazing.
Freaking awesome. Wonderful. Is Sylvester joining us tonight, Eric? Is Sylvester joining us?
Oh, yeah, he is.
Hey, Jax, thank you so much for the
Sly.
resub. 4 months. There's those luscious locks. Janelle, why are you gifting gift subs? Or one thing away from a hype train. Definitely don't need to do that, guys. Thank you. Janelle now has the, I don't know what sub gifter one this is.
All
Purple
die.
box. Oh, it's this. But anyway, yes, and we have the wonderful 10-month subscriber badge, 10-month badge. So our next badge is the year badge, the red D20. So that'll be fun to see on people's. And I wish I would have subscribed to our own channel sooner, so that I could catch up. But I feel like I'm behind. I don't know how far behind I am. Let me see.
I felt terrible for not immediately.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Well, you did. You have a founder's badge.
I know, but still, I think I was still a month late, wasn't I?
I don't. It says 9-month subscriber, so I think maybe you're one behind. And Jack's coming in with a bless for Dariana. Let me bring up a bunch of stuff that I don't have brought up right now.
Thank you.
It should be stream elements.
11. And we all have
Amerison. Amerison with another 5 gifted. Thank you so much, Amerison. I think did that kick off the hype train? I don't know. But Amerison, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Glad to see you here. Let me actually open the thing that I need to open. Stream elements, you've changed. There it is. Oh yeah, we're already at a level 4 hype train.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Choo-choo.
Gosh, and a bless for Brian, which means 2 for Jess. It's 12.
Right.
Save. All right. Well, yeah, we're gonna hang out and keep chatting for another 4 minutes till we get through the hype train. Again, thank you so much, Janelle and Amerison for the gifts and the biddies, and Jax for the channel points for the blesses. So let's talk about some stuff that's coming up a little bit before we get into it. Since we are in the midst of a hype train, we'll wait for that to go by. We have one of our long-awaited channel point redemptions coming up very shortly. And Jess, I don't know if we announced the name last time. I think we did, but do you want to chat about that? Give as much info as you want about what's coming up soon.
It's called Cheese. I kind of like leaving it mysterious at this point. There's gonna be some promotion material on our Instagram, so check that out. It kind of will give a little bit more of an insight into the vibe of Cheese, the cheese vibe, if you will. It's gonna be weird.
Yes.
Obviously.
Do you want to talk about the rule set?
Sure. I'll quickly talk about how it's based on Ryan's incursion system. It's very similar to the Apocalypse, powered by the Apocalypse, but it's kind of simplified. It's a 2d6 system. And then I guess I'll get more into it on game day.
All right. So yeah, very, very excited for that. And who's all playing in that right now?
Everybody here but
I
Matt.
have a work thing. Yeah.
Yes,
So
plus
bummed.
Janelle.
Oh,
Plus Janelle.
I mean,
Shout out
Yeah,
Janelle.
Janelle.
definitely the
Very
fans
excited.
are the winners there because Janelle's a fan favorite. Get the cheese train
Yes.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Mhm.
no, that's in my private channel. Hey, Skull coming in with the Banes. I'll take those. I need to use those more. That's 14 for me. I'll just Bane everything tonight.
Well, if we have more admin episodes, though.
Yeah, you have to
Bane
I'll
our
Bane that
admin rolls.
paperwork.
You don't
Yeah.
get your
Yeah.
license denied.
No,
Yeah.
got to pay the late fee. Fuck, I had to pay a late fee on my car registration until I forgot to do that for 2
Oh.
months. So that was fun.
I know when you don't really have to drive very often, you forget about those things.
Seriously, I don't go anywhere but my 2-minute drive to work. I
That's
fill my
right.
gas tank like once every 6 weeks. So
Yeah,
totally
I'm on a 2-month
awesome.
cycle.
I fill
on
up my
2-month
gas tank
cycle.
all the goddamn time.
Yeah, we're
Yeah, but
80
you drive
bucks.
a gas guzzling Jeep, though.
Well, yeah. But today I was in my truck, and that was 80 bucks to fill. It's an old truck.
Oh,
It's an old
80.
tiny truck. It's an old Ford Ranger, like a 95.
yeah, those are bulletproof, though.
Yeah, I had to replace the transmission. It was like $100. I mean, those
Yeah.
things are awesome.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's a good beach
So-
vehicle.
We are winding down the hype train, so I'm gonna get going with a little bit of a we'll do a little arc recap here. The players, after they are searching for the Archduke Avgost, the last royal bloodline of Krakovar, which was taken over and subsumed into yay, Sursa victory. Coming in with the Bane, of course. That's 15 for me. How's it going, Sursa? We can get some Sursas in the
Yeah,
chat.
baby.
So you don't max out at 10 as well?
I don't think I have a Sursa.
None of you guys
Let's
max
just-
out at 10. You have to follow me to get a Sursa. It's
Oh.
my emote. Just like
Before
the
we-
mutes.
Before we start, I was
Sursas and
just
mutes is me. No, what's
I
up?
thought I was following you. That's weird.
Before we started, I was just telling folks that I had given the Everstar Sisterhood as a gift, and it was very well received.
Nice.
Yep.
And I
Well done,
dropped
Sursa.
2 copies off in my neighborhood libraries, and they have vanished. So somebody
Oh,
is reading them.
nice.
Okay.
Hopefully playing.
No,
Yeah.
it's definitely a great book. That and the Coiled Crown are both
Coiled
awesome.
Crown,
Definitely check out Sursa's website and snag up all the stuff that you can get off of there. I have my Sursa section. All of that is all Sursa. Right. That's how that right there.
Oh, you're not wearing your Sursa tee today.
Behind the
Not
curtain.
today. I'm
Next
rocking the
time,
Dark
yeah.
Kingdoms tee today.
So good.
Yeah, there you go. I also
I
need to wear
gotta
my
pick up
Sursa
my
tee.
merch. I need my merch.
You do. You and Andy both need to pick up the merch.
Too much gas
I,
money.
Yeah, there it is.
I just
I wear
didn't-
my Sursa tee when I'm doing some TTRPG making in the morning a bunch when I do morning streams. So that's when I
Oh,
like to
nice.
rock one of those or the baseball tee. So Dark Kingdoms, Evil Campaign set in Kobold's Midgard setting. 10 years ago, the allied nations, the allied Dark Kingdoms of both the Vampires of Morgau and the Ghoul Imperium got together and took over Krakovar in a blitzkrieg, killing its king, sending the queen into exile, and are now searching for the brother of the king, the Archduke Avgost, who they have successfully taken into the Ghoul Imperium to do some dark ritual with that will shake the foundations of Midgard itself. The players, these evil fucks, are on the way to try to stop that because their evil boss wants to have the world run the way he wants evil to run and continue their alliance with the Ghoul Imperium. And the players have found out that it is a faction within the Imperium itself working against the Alliance that is trying to do this ritual. A secret benefactor has helped them make their way into the underworld, the Underdark. I'm going to use those interchangeably to try to find and stop this ritual. The players have made their way to a Kobold city where they met a number of friendly little Kobold NPCs. And have since made their way to what is known as the Pit of All Flesh outpost. The Pit of All Flesh appears to be some type of blood arena that is a popular stopping point within the Imperium. The players needed to go there because they had an admin building where they could get the appropriate travel papers to not be harassed constantly as they make their way through the Ghoul Imperium. Last session, they were able to obtain those papers, even for their unconscious friend Beatum, stuffed him back into a bag, met a mysterious vampirus, explored the outpost a little bit, and now are in the process of making their way into the Pit of All Flesh, to see kind of what's the deal with that. You did find a little bit of information about a Darrow that may be associated, or that may be in the Pit of All Flesh, with some writings discussing, or at least referencing, the Cult of the Withered Hand with that Darrow. And I believe that is where we are starting. So, friends, evil players, as you are making your way towards this massive archway in the entire Pit of All Flesh, heading down, what are you doing?
I think we're at the arch.
I would say I'm just
heading towards
continuing
the-
in that direction unless we're
Yeah.
stopped.
Yeah.
You were walking your way towards the arches last time. So as you approach these arches, so quick side note, this is called no, it's called like waifu something from Gamer Subs. It basically is cotton candy flavored energy drink.
Oh. That
Yeah,
doesn't sound.
That sounds horrible.
delicious.
Yeah.
Looks
I love
disgusting.
That's how you know we're older.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. No,
Like, that's
good.
terrible.
Back when I was.
waifu candy. That's what it's called. Waifu candy.
No, just no.
Anyway, Gamer
No,
Subs sponsor us. So as you're making your way to this archway, again,
This tastes like
Massive
scotch
arch.
and soda. By the
there
way.
you go. I should put a little nothing in this. That would be terrible. But you're making your way to the archway. There are a number of what appear to be iron ghouls blocking it. And in the hierarchy of ghouls, iron ghouls are right below Darrakul. So in front of that archway, you see those two ghouls. But as you are approaching, you hear a voice from behind you say, "Get out of the fucking way!" And you see. Let me open up the hidden areas off the map. You see a number of Imperial ghouls, and a Darrakul, with a string of living creatures behind them. You see one Darrow, who seems to be bound more tightly than all the rest of them, kind of in between. You see a number of humans, all chained together, another Darrow, and a ghoul kind of walking in front, leading them, with what appears to be a body over his shoulder. And the Darrakul steps forward and says, "I said get out of the fucking way."
Well, I
Right,
would
I'll-
get out of the fucking way if I
I'll
understood what
move
he
out
was
of the
saying.
way.
Even if you didn't, because I don't think you do, I think you get the meaning as it kind of gets in your face. And all of these guys kind of trail in behind him. Yeah, they're fine where they're at. They're kind of gathering. They're heading towards what appears to be the archway. As he kind of like pushes you guys back, and these other Imperial ghouls kind of push forward as well, they basically kind of just open up the pit, one would say, and push you guys all backwards away from whatever conversation is happening here. As the rest of these come forward, again, these guys chained to this Darrow. And I'm just gonna rotate this out. And get everyone up on the map. We'll just do this right here. And these two start to have a conversation, a little bit low, to where if you'd like to try to hear them, I would have you roll to do so. But they begin this conversation. It sounds like it's starting to get a little bit heated. And then you just hear the Iron Ghoul say, "I said go to the fucking admin building." But he yells it. I don't know why he said it so quietly. You know you gotta check in. And the Darrow Ghoul just kind of huffs and puffs and moves away, and says, "All right, guys, let's fucking go." And you see this entire batch here head out. Where's the little spinny thing? With this Darrow in tow, and start making the way to where you guys had just left, up towards the admin building. And as they do so, I assume you guys kind of peek around and watch a little bit. One of the guards here at this building disappears, comes back, and as the group continues to make their way forward, you see a number of ghouls, or Imperial ghouls, soldiers in general, come out as a further escort for what appears to be a batch of prisoners making their way up towards the admin building. And then some others come out from this space, which to you from this area seems to be some type of barracks. It's clearly more of a military kind of installation or building here. And then they continue on and make their way up into the admin building. So as this all plays out in front of you, what are you doing?
Okay. What was that thing you saw on the desk at the admin building when you saw the desk was open?
The papers?
Was it? That was a Darrow, yes? That went by. Do we think that's
Yes, it was.
Cult of the Withered Hand?
Do we identify this group as the group that we saw in the cavern? Or does it look like a completely different group?
No, they look incredibly familiar, and actually identical. This is the group. The only difference being that one of the humans appears to be dead now.
So yeah, I'll reiterate that to Victor. It's the same group that we saw previously in the caves.
Yeah, you would pass them by. They told you to keep fucking walking, and you guys chose to keep fucking walking and head to the outpost. They seem to have finished their rest, and have since made their way here. And based on the tidbits of conversation you overheard, they tried to go into the Pit of All Flesh with their human prisoners and were sent to the dreaded admin building to check in their, let's call it, cargo, prior to heading down into the Pit of All Flesh.
Do you think that how will we? He was surrounded by a whole group of food, it looked like. How would we talk to him to figure out if he is the Lord of Old Flesh?
So what you saw in that group to reiterate, was a number of guards. There was a Darrakul who seemed to be leading it, a number of Imperial ghouls, a number of regular ghouls. They were all chained together, but there was one Darrow specifically who was kind of bound more tightly and held between a number of ghouls. And then another Darrow and the rest of the pack with the other humans that you saw. And then one human body thrown over the shoulder of a ghoul is what you saw.
Well, we could. I think a straight out fight, if we want to talk to this person, is out of the question. Perhaps a kidnapping?
Interesting. Do you not want to bet on him first? See how strong he is.
Well, the problem is, I do. But the problem is he'll more than likely lose, and then he's dead. Which there's still ways to talk to him, so that's not necessarily a question, but...
Well, perhaps we could buy the body afterwards.
Well, my whole reasoning for being in the splat zone was to encourage whoever's fighting him to rip off his head. But there's risks in that as well. We could kind of do like we did with the princess and kidnap him.
But
instead of a turtle, perhaps give him a heads up, tell him to turn into a fly, and that we're here to help him get out of here. Something of that nature.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm spitballing.
Should we go spitball further away from guards?
Yes.
Yeah, by the way, that was said very quietly.
You all love to talk
Yeah,
around.
I assume that you guys are a little farther away
Okay.
from these
Yeah.
guys and kind of conversating.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about over yonder here?
I got you, Jess. We'll block off the alleyway. Well,
Apparently, this Darrow is someone that might not have information that we need.
maybe we should just see what the pit is like. They will be stuck at, based on how efficient the bureaucracy is here underground.
Yes, it took us a whole episode to get through, so
Yeah, perhaps we should enjoy the pit.
I suppose we have some time.
I mean, the paperwork could kill him, but there's nothing we could do about that.
Okay.
It's just like a cutscene of this like whole group of slaves coming in, and the guy in there being like, "Oh my god," you know, pulling out like a ream of paper.
Damn.
Hey, so did they all go into the admin building, or just one or two, or?
From this distance, you can still see that there's a pack of people outside. If you actually want to make their way there, I can actually do what's actually happening up here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go check really quick. It won't take long.
Yeah, that's fine. So, as you make your way up there, what you see is that the bulk of the party that arrived and a number of the guards that escorted them from what, like I said, appears to be the barracks, is still outside. But the chained Darrow and the Darrakul, suckers in there, and the ghouls with the chained Darrakul, apparently have made their way inside the building. These guys at this point have been like put against the wall, like in a line, and are just like seating. They're sat on the ground, with these guys all kind of just watching over them.
You mean move the
like
map out? Or are
this.
you showing something?
Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
showing the whole top
Sorry.
area. Yeah, for Sylvester. No worries.
It's like almost a
So
fire.
the whole line of still living what appear to be slaves or cattle or cargo, whatever you want to call them, have been set up against the side of the temple, they're sitting down on the ground, kind of like knees up, still all chained together. A number of guards standing over them watching. A number of guards still outside of the admin building. The ghoul with the body just kind of hanging out to the side, kind of licking his lips. And then the Darrakul and the chained Darrow have seemed to have gone into the building. So it looks like those in charge and this primary prisoner have gone in, and the rest are kind of just waiting outside.
All right, I'll go back with everybody else. And kind of relay what I saw up there.
I'm very much interested in seeing what is going on in the pit. Fight starts soon, yes? Within an hour?
Within the next hour or two. It's kind of like, I mean, shows start at 7, but the band doesn't really get going until like 7:30, you know what I mean? So like the show is supposed to start within like the next hour or two.
Okay. If you want bits or pieces, you gotta be in the front row.
Yeah, it depends on where you wanna see. It's not like you're buying tickets. It's kind of first come, first serve.
Well, I don't know. My concern is if we go in and things don't go the way we want to, we might lose our opportunity to get information from this Darrow. But there's a lot of guards around, and I don't think a full frontal assault's the way to go either.
Agreed.
So,
Dariana, what do you prefer? Entertainment?
Yes. I don't think we should try to take on all these ghouls right now. I'd rather a sneaky approach.
Plus, perhaps we can feed Brian on the losers of matches.
Yes, Brian would love
Well,
that.
They couldn't have
that's
seats.
providing we get access. This is a big arena. They're not just going to be throwing the bodies. Well, maybe they are. I don't know. Do they throw the bodies into the stand? Cut. I don't.
I've never been.
Let's
I
go find
I
out.
don't know if Cutter's ever been. That's entirely up to you based on your history. I know you know of it again in the same way that, you know, it's kind of like a sports arena. You know, you could live, you know, near or be aware of a sports arena and the sport that's played there but never really go. So it's entirely up to you based on your history in the Imperium whether you've actually been in it or not.
I would say if the raiding parties I was part of, it was a common occurrence, I've probably been at least once or twice. That's
Okay.
what I would think.
Yeah. I can imagine like a bunch of raiders come back from a successful raid, drop off their bounty, and then, you know, get a little bit inebriated and head to the arena to kind of blow off some steam and stuff. I can
Yeah.
imagine that happening fairly regularly. So you're aware kind of more so of what this Pit of All Flesh is like. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It is and it's an arena in a lower area of the place. You know that there are, much like every arena, there are stairs that go up to it. And you know it is really gladiatorial in that there are it's not like one-on-one matches of people. A lot of times it's like a bunch of slaves with no weapons and a bunch of really armored ghouls or something, and it's less like this guy versus this guy and more like how many slaves can this guy murder versus how many slaves can this guy murder. And then within the arena area there's actually an additional pit that heads down into an area where there's oftentimes some type of creature or something as like more of a main event area. So you're aware that this is a massive blood sport. And yeah, and the bits and stuff that go flying, it's kind of like it's kind of like when you go to the aquarium and you're sitting in the splash zone. You know that there's a chance that you could get hit with something. So those that like to sit in the, we'll call it the splash zone of the pit of all flesh, there's always chance of literal bits of slaves or whatever flying up into the area and people getting a free snack, basically.
Dariana's gonna love it.
Forever.
Yeah, we both will.
It is very much a blood sport. So a blood
If
sorcery
enough-
school.
If
All
enough
right.
chunks and blood fly onto Brian, will he grow in size?
I mean, if like a whole person is like chucked into the
Yeah.
audience,
He needs like a tidal wave of viscera to wash over him.
like, oh, you not entertained. That's about,
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I guess we'll head in.
Yeah.
refresh this. I don't hear this music. Maybe I'm just deaf. Let's switch it. There we go. I can hear that. Okay, so you guys want to actually head into the Imperium at this point?
Yep.
I'm sorry, head into the Pit of All Flesh.
Yeah, the
arena.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So let me gather you all up
We want the good seats.
and we'll make our way in.
Maybe they have cotton candy.
Maybe they have waifu candy.
Trying to get that sponsorship.
Yeah. I think they also have a flavor that's called like guacamole gamer farts 9000 or something like that.
Oh god.
So-
What's
Sounds
that mean?
delicious.
Pretty yeah. Give me 1 second.
Chat.
Okay, so I'll grab you guys. I'll head to this area. And let me just make sure I have your tokens.
So many Don Drapers.
1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 with Brian, right? Yeah, with Beatum still suffering from his recent undeadness. Well, thank you, Marison. Get there. You all I was gonna say it might be nice to have Brian out of the bag and have like a 5th fighter amongst you. So as you head into the archway, if you want to go to the bottom right, you go down what appears to be this large elevator, heading down into this arena area. You do notice when you get to the bottom of the elevator that there is a stairwell behind you right here. So it looks as if the elevator is a primary ways to move things up and down, but there is some type of what appears to be emergency exit kind of thing. There's no like red exit sign above it, but that's kind of like if something happens to the elevator, there does appear to be a long stair out because you guys go pretty far down on this elevator to make your way down. And when you come out, you see a number of Imperial ghoul or Iron ghouls guarding an area right here, basically coming out of the gate. And as you step up to the gate to leave this elevator, they ask you to see your papers. And when you got on the elevator, the Imperial ghouls at the top had asked you to see your papers as well.
All right, I will show them my papers.
And they, at this point, you can take your tokens and do what you will with them.
Okay.
But as each of you kind of go through, they do the whole like kind of getting into the bar thing. They take your paper, like shine a flashlight on it, kind of thing. Like look at it, look at you, the whole situation. And then begrudgingly let you guys pass. And what you see as you go in is the back end of a large arena area. You see some steps leading up that appear to have a guard at the top. You see some steps over here that also appear to be a guard. But the back of this area looks like a set of stone bleachers. There's also a number of doorways over here. And there's actually probably a couple of these dudes. Like that as well, kind of floating around on those areas. So these stairs seem to be a little bit more ornate, and these stairs seem to head towards, like I said, what appears to be some type of bleacher section.
I'm assuming the splash zone will be in the cheap seats.
Yeah.
Can we see north up here?
Oh, dude, there's like a crazy looking dude in the bleachers. There's two of them.
Oh, it's a wall. Never mind.
What northern section are you talking about?
Just north of where we are, how that passageway leads up, and there's.
So
looks like a
there
guard,
seems
maybe?
to be, yeah.
Door,
So
there's a door.
this area seems to be the primary kind of like, I don't want to say staging area. It's like if there's a bunch of people that come down, there's this area they can kind of mill around in before they head up into the seats to actually see the show. That's what this area is. There is what appears to be a door here with a guard. There's a door here with a guard. I think I kind of put them in the way a little bit. And there's a door here with a guard. What you see right here, this area in the top left, is actually a tower. Yeah, it's kind of off screen.
Oh, blacked
bit.
out right there.
So it goes
yeah.
way up.
So there's a door right here, but this space right here that's kind of blacked out is kind of like it's only like a one-story tower. But at the top of that tower, you do see a guard kind of sitting on top, and it appears to be able to kind of look down over the whole area. So it is a small tower right here. Why don't I just open that up? There's nothing too revealing about that, so we'll at least let you see the tower. There you go. And at the top of that tower is a guard that's kind of just monitoring, looking down, kind of over the top edge of it, looking down below. You can't really see into the pit at this point, even though the map kind of rolls over onto the pit a little bit. But you hear commotion is what you hear more than anything. You hear in this whole area when you get down, the closer you get to this area over here, which you can only imagine is the arena or any of the steps, it's just this stale air and the smell of blood and gore just infusing the area. It's old blood on top of old blood on top of old blood on top of new blood. It's up to you, intoxicating or nauseating as you make your way into this area. And you hear some screams coming from the arena area. You hear some growls coming from this direction. It's this large cavern in this area, and it's just accosting your senses. It's the smell of blood, the sound of screams, the sound of animals, the sounds of just movement. There's some light cheering going on from this area over here, which appears to be where a number of ghouls and other undead creatures or creatures in general are making their way off the elevator behind you, kind of shoving past and making their way up these stairs, past this guard, into these seats here. But that is the general area that you're in. It definitely gives you that stadium arena vibe. But again, this is a blood sport, and it smells like one.
So instead of spilt beer, it smells like spilt blood.
Just guts and gore. Yeah.
lot of
Even in
flies
the
around?
area that, not really. You hear a buzzing, but it's not near you. You get the sense that if it's going, if they're going to be flies, there's much tastier stuff at a distance from where you currently are. But even on the ground that you're walking, you can see some old blood stains, especially from this path, out towards this elevator here, coming from the stairs and out. So what do you guys want to do? And again, as you guys are kind of walking here, you occasionally get kind of pushed past as a number of other ghouls are making their way out of this elevator and moving past you into the seats. And the seats are actually slowly starting to fill up as you're sitting here.
Let's go get our seats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian, let's go.
Does this guard up here stop us at all, or does he just let us by?
No, he seems to. It's kind of like stadium security, like just making sure the people that come through look like they're supposed to be there. There's multiple checkpoints before him, so he's just kind of standing there, like directing a little bit, like stopping any scuffles that happen in the area. But yeah. So don't sit on people, and don't forget
I'm kind of squeezing through.
Yeah, and you can also hold Alt and drag your token to a spot and not be stuck into the grid if you would like to.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's the guy we killed a long time ago.
There's like 3 of them though.
There are some undead people in here that at least have a similar. Excuse me, Sackbat. At least have a similar vibe to people that you have indeed killed before. So let me. This is where you guys are. You're kind of squeezing in. Is that what you want to do?
I don't think many people exist that don't give off a vibe that there's somebody that we've killed before.
Yeah, I would not disagree with that. So objects and tokens. So we'll move this guard a little bit. So yeah, as you guys are seated, this guy's
we know though that some of these ghouls are lower ranking, right? Or lower ranking than Daricool.
You know that what?
Like these guys right here in the front row, they're a little bit below Daricool.
Yeah. Most of them are bottom of the barrel.
So since we look like Daricool, could Victor just kind of come right here and tell these guys to piss off and shove over to the right?
Absolutely. Why don't you roll me an intimidation check to start?
Okay.
And it'll be a pretty low DC.
Okay.
But I'll bane it anyway.
Yeah. Let's go both. Let's go head to head. Bane plus. Intimidate. This is funny. He's got a -1. That's awesome.
If you want, you can use.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, did you crit that?
He critted it.
Nice. Just for future reference, as far as intimidation goes, it's not a set charisma for that. If you want to use another stat, you absolutely can. Just justify it to me. So if you're trying to be like imposing with your size and whatever, you could use strength if you want. Cutter, if you want to use intimidation with your dexterity and like flick a dagger across the back of your fingers, you totally can. Intimidation is a score that is free of charisma. And you can use anything that you want for that as long as you can justify the stat for future reference. Cool. It makes no sense to me that a giant barbarian with a -2 charisma is not intimidating at all. So and also, do you already have a blue card?
I do. I haven't been able to burn it yet because it's like we haven't had to make a saving throw over like in a while.
Gotcha. What is your blue card, by the way?
It's a plus D12 to saving throw.
There you go. Let me grab this too and put this in the handout section. The Vardazane Pilgrim handout. There you go. Okay, so yeah, absolutely. As soon as they see you, actually, they kind of are like I want my seat and I don't really want to move. But as soon as you, as a large Daricool, actually kind of stand up and obviously like intimidate them and tell them to piss off, they kind of scurry out of the way. I got a bunch of these in the GM info layer, so I'm gonna snag all of them and bring them up to the token layer, so I can move these guys out of the way. Oh, 20. All right. So yeah, so you can do that. This guy's gonna shove back. It actually opens up a spot for Cutter too. This guy's not intimidated by you, but he's actually gonna move out of the way a little bit. This what appears to be some type of gnomish creature.
Oh.
And you guys at this point basically fill the entire front row. Basically. And everyone else just kind of shoves back for you. So at this point, you have made your way to the front. And
I was just gonna say, what's happening in the pit right now? Are all these people in there?
Yeah. So what you're seeing happening in front of you right now, let me actually bring up a nice solid description of the pit. What you see is this, you've already been in this giant cavern. What's taking place in this pit, the arena itself is roughly 80 foot by 60 foot wide. And across the floor of this pit, what you see is mostly quasi-jellified flesh and blood kind of ingrained into the ground. And the entire pit area. What looks to be maybe years and years of blood layered across this whole area, where parts of it are slick with puddles of this gore and this blood. Within the pit itself, you see another deeper pit. You can't really see down into it, but occasionally you'll see this giant tentacles kind of reach up out of the pit. You see something like this kind of appear from the edge of the pit. And even as you're watching, you see the tentacle reach out and grab on to one of these humans that appears to be filling up the area, and drag him down into the pit. And you hear a scream and a call, yelling, and then it's just cut off. And you just hear this kind of squelching sound that's loud even over the rest of the noise coming from the area, before that tentacle and others like it slither back down into this pit area. The other thing you notice is a number of armored Daracool around the pit, kind of separated from these humans right now, as these humans are mostly human, mostly what you guys assume to be living creatures, are kind of trying to stay away from them. It doesn't appear as the battle has started, but it appears to be prepping for it. From this area over here, you see occasionally another human kind of being pushed through as they try to fight their way back, claw their way back into what may be the safety of this area, and they're just kind of kicked into the pit before they scurry off into the corners and try to hide. And over here, you see what appears to be a giant carrion beetle with a Daracool rider on top. And all of the Daracool in the pit are incredibly heavily armored. And even as you're watching, Victor, this gnome next to you looks you up and down and says, "So, are you going to be fighting as well, friend?"
What language is he speaking?
It's Undercommon right now.
Okay. So Victor, speaks on Undercommon, but kind of has a shitty accent. So he said, "I do not think so. and he sees that he's gnome, and Victor actually speaks gnomish like a little better because of his time with Beedom, and he shifts to Nagrimi, and asks him if he's gonna fight, but in gnomish.
He gets this interesting look on his face. And he says, "Oh, you speak our language. It's interesting. No, I shall not fight. I am not the fighting type. But I wouldn't be allowed if I could. Only Derakul are allowed to fight in the pit, but any of you can. I hear it's just an entry fee. And you can make your way in." And Cutter, you are actually aware of this, apart from this conversation, unless you're overhearing it again with perception of a god. You could be if you wanted to be.
Yeah.
This does spark something in, and it's like, oh yeah, you actually can fight in the pit if you want. If you're Derakul, there's an entry fee, but you can just go in and murder basically, if you would choose to. And anytime before the fight starts, you can choose to go into the pit. One thing you notice as he's talking to you too, you hear this kind of like scream from the people down within the pit. Again, I wish I had crowd noise saved on here, so you guys could get that. Let's see if I can grab some real quick.
Like a Wiggles concert.
Yeah, it's like a Wiggles concert. Exactly. You know? Tabletop
salad, yummy, yummy.
That was for you, Jess.
Thank you. Is that because I'm young?
True story. I bought my nephew, who is now in college, when he was really little, a feather sword at a Wiggles concert.
Oh, so yes. We're derailing now, but
yeah,
the whole reason Wiggles came up in the comments there was, I used to surf with a guy who's a roadie for the Wiggles. And he used to say, those guys are party animals.
Oh, it's Australia,
yeah,
baby.
Like, it was insane.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I can only begin to imagine the Wiggles. Just,
yeah.
It's the perfect cover.
It was, yeah, apparently. So. So we're at a Wiggles concert.
And, you are at a Wiggles concert, yeah. So basically, I completely lost my train of thought. Oh, you see one of these arms actually raise up and slap at another person again. But what you also notice is this kind of yell go up from the people, and then a silence kind of come over the crowd as this door opens once again. But being led out by a number of Derakul, you see what appears to be this guy. I mean, clearly it's this guy. It doesn't appear to be. He is this person. Being led out by a number, move into the area, being led out by a couple of guards. And what you see at this distance is a heavily armored Darrow. You can tell even from here, it's not too far away from you. This dark armor, it's spiked, it's coated and stuff. He looks a little beat up already. But carved on the front of this breastplate that he is wearing is what appears to be a hand upward like this.
Oh yeah. That's what
carved into the front of the chest. And as you're watching, these guards that are with him bring him over towards the pit. And I'm not going to do that.
So he's not like chained up or anything. He's on his own.
No, he's being led. Yeah. And he actually has a battle axe with him. He seems to have accepted this fate. And he is led over to this pit. And this is when his courage kind of starts to lapse a little bit. And he kind of starts to push away against the guards. And both guards just shove him. And kick him down into this pit area.
Down into the black hole?
Down into the black hole.
Oh, fuck.
and you hear this bellowing roar come from within the hole, and this scream. And with that, you hear from your right, this Daracool right here, stand up out of a chair, surrounded by others, and kind of wave his arms and bring a hush to the crowd that had just started to cheer when they heard that roar. Gosh, I'll find better music for this so I can get some crowd noise in here at some point. And he hushes the crowd and he says, "All right, we're gonna get started for the evening." And the crowd like roars again. All the slaves in here, you can see them cower and start to push towards the sides. You can see the Daracool kind of getting ready, gearing themselves up down in there with the pit. You see some with halberds, you see some with swords, you see the carrion beetle kind of start to make a lap around the pit, the humans kind of getting out of the way. The pit is just full of all of these slaves, but they don't seem to be attacking them yet. The Daracool don't. They're just kind of messing with them, rile them up. "This is the last call for anyone that wants to join the fight. Is there anyone who'd like to enter the pit?"
So Victor
I'm
kind of
gonna
looks at.
stand up.
Oh, nice. So when Cutter stands up, Victor kind of follows his lead.
Okay. "Oh, it looks like we have two more. Anybody else?"
I'm going to pat them on the back.
Order a drink. Like he's like,
That's
I need
not
two-
my scene voice.
2
Okay.
beers.
All right.
Oh my god.
Dariana, as your companions stand up and answer this call, what are you
We could
doing?
feed Brian.
I don't want to die before I get my book back,
Yeah, you have better things to do.
but I guess I'll stand up too.
Oh,
Oh dang!
All right.
damn,
Damn,
son.
hand to hand's not my thing, but
She's got Brian.
Oh, wait.
She raises
Can I-
Brian's hand.
Can,
Nah.
Can I
can he
cast
act with us?
spells?
Can he fight with us?
I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to cast spells.
Yeah, but would it be weird as a Daracool?
No,
There are
you're- 'cause
plenty of Daracool
Yeah.
casters.
You look like a mage.
Magic isn't just for humans and elves and stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
then.
And your
yeah.
appearance changed. Your clothing didn't. You're clearly, magey.
Mage.
All right.
All right.
So
Right.
all your
Me and
allies
Brian
raise up
stand up.
around you. Yeah. Sylvester, are you just gonna be like, all right, go get him, guys? Or what's your plan?
This is great. You could just sit with the 2 gnomes that eat popcorn, Sylvester. Send.
yeah, I'm gonna stay with the 2 gnomes and eat popcorn.
Okay. All
But
right.
I'm gonna tell them to try and work if they can get that. Oh fuck!
Get that Dara, the withered hand, dude.
But the Darrow jumped in the hole.
Yeah.
He didn't jump in the hole. He was kicked.
He was
into the
shoved
hole.
in there. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to go get him.
I can't see from my angle how deep that hole is.
Tentacles.
Yeah, it's not like you can get a little bit of maybe a part of the wall on the other side. So the arena is split into kind of 2 areas. Imagine these seats are kind of bigger and more filled out, right? You get a sense that the closer you are to the front, the closer you are to the splash zone, but the higher you are up in the seats, the better you can see into the pit. So it's kind of this mix of like, do you want to be close to the action, or do you want to be farther away and actually be able to have an angle down into the pit?
So to get down to our steps to our seat, though, we had to walk down. Could I tell how deep it was when I was up at the top?
Yeah, as you were kind of shoving through, the pit is only maybe like 20 or 30 feet deep. And from the top, you saw like a dark shape kind of huddled in the pit to start. And clearly some tentacled things coming out of the pit.
Okay. jump in with you fuckers.
Oh, you're doing it?
Yeah,
Never gonna forgive
Wow.
that was unexpected.
you. By the way,
All right. So as the Derrickle is watching, and you're like 1 stands, 2 stand, 3 stands, it says, "Oh, we have a whole party joining. Pay the fee and follow the gods. We'll be started in just a minute, folks. Let's get them prepared." And all of these guys kind of push out of the way, and this guard comes over to you guys and says, "This will be interesting. Come on." And leads you all away. And as you're all kind of filing out behind him, heading towards what appears to be the pit of all flesh, this is where we'll take the break just a little bit early tonight, 8:17, and we'll see what happens when we get back. So thank you all. Be back in just a couple of minutes. Hello and welcome back to the Adventure Archive. Where we left off, the party had made their way into the Pit of All Flesh, which appears to be a large blood arena where slaves will be slaughtered, but there is some type of creature deep within a pit in the arena itself. There was a call to see if any other Derical wanted to participate in this blood slaughter, and the party, some reluctantly, chose to join. So you are all filing your way out of the front row, and as you do, the rest of the ghouls behind you are literally like jumping down into the seats behind you, and you're being led out out this way. Just move y'all down, and some of these guys all clamber back down into the front seats that are now wide open. So they can catch a potential snack.
Snack time.
Yep. So, you guys are all told to follow this guard and start making your way towards this back area here. As you're going, is there anything that you would like to do on the way as you file along behind him?
Yeah, so as we're walking, using my Warlock Awakened Mind, where I can say things to them telepathically, I want to say, this is a terrible idea, but yeah, let's kill some things. But I think it's a bad idea to show too much of our power. Be competent and don't get killed, but I think we don't want to also show how strong we really are.
You're going to have to take a few nicks then.
Yeah, well, so be it.
We
And
can talk to you
also-
in our minds.
And the Darrow, if we can get him to this side towards us of the cavern where the crowds can't really see him, I might have a way to get him out of here.
So, do you mean like get him underneath the viewing stand of the?
Still in the
main-
cave, still in the pit, but this wall closest to us.
Ah, very well. I was very impressed, Sylvester, that you were willing to join us. I very much thought you would be spending time with those two small green men. And then Victor, kind of, if you'll allow him, he kind of puts his arm around you. He's like, I agree with you. This may not be the most prudent action, but it has been a long time since we have had a battle to kind of flex our muscles a little. These are puny little slaves. And then as he does that, he kind of makes a gesture with his hand, and then you feel like a little kind of black energy, like kind of pass around you, and he puts a death ward on you. So for 8 hours, if you'll drop to 0 hit points as a result of taking damage, you instead drop to 1 hit point.
Awesome. One's better than none. I will take it. Thank you.
And then he kind of saunters over to Dariana, and he can't whisper in his mind, right, to Dariana? Like it's only with you?
Yeah, and actually everything you said was out loud. It's one way, but what
Oh,
you
it's
were
one way.
saying-
Okay, so Dariana, if you heard that, Victor like holds out his palm and presents you like his ornate dagger.
You guys are all doing
If
this
that's-
as you're trailing behind this guy here, which is fine.
So weird.
Not weird.
Okay.
But he's kind of looking at you, like seeing if you're interested in it or if that's too much power to show.
I don't think so. I'll grab it and slice his hand.
I'll take a hit point.
Thank you, Victor.
I will keep eye on you, Dariana. I'm very glad to have Brian with us.
And just a heads up, right before we go through the gates, Ryan, I'm going to cast Claws of Darkness on myself.
Okay, what is that? Can you cast that for me?
Yeah,
Under
that's
the
I'll
VTT?
display it. It's a cantrip, but it's a Midgard one.
Gotcha. Give me 1 second to get back to that area.
Now covered in blood, and my armor class is 18.
So as you're walking along, you slice Victor's hand, and standing next to your blood elemental, suddenly blood spurts from his hand and coats you, and you are now just coated in blood as you're walking along this kind of spectator area into the back of whatever arena is happening.
And then Victor kind of, I know he looks like a Derrickle, so he kind of takes the bloody hand and kind of puts it across his eyes so that it puts like a paint brush of kind of blood, like where they'll see his eyes, so it'll be a little bit red, and then casts a false life upon himself. At looks like it's level 3. It'll be an easy one. That'll give him a 1d4. So I'll have to roll +5.
And you hear Sylvester say, "Oh, so much for not making a spectacle of ourselves."
There you go.
Gotcha. So as you're walking along, why don't you control your tokens and actually walk along? So we get this whole kind of slow motion scene of all these Derrickle kind of like clumping, like battle ready, getting to the ground, like, you know, a little bit of conversation, you know, death ward, slice on the hand, blood just spurts out and covers Dariana, and you guys are still just kind of following along behind this guy. And you make your way towards this area over here, what appears to be next to the tower, into a back area of this space. And let me open it up for you. You follow this guard into this room, where there's a number of other guards, and they're kind of sitting around lounging, and says, "Oh, all right, we got some more for the pit. All right, just pay the entrance fee and you're good."
How much is the entrance fee?
It's 50 gold each.
Fuck you guys.
Wow, that's steep fee.
Well, you're paying for glory and all you can eat, so
That's all I got. So
How did my gold go?
well,
I don't have 50 on me. He kind of looks at Sylvester like he shows him he's got like 6 gold pieces.
There it is. All right. God damn it. I'll get Victor and me. So that's 100 gold. You guys are eating through my.
The death ward's will totally be worth it.
Keep your 6.
I love how you begrudgingly were like forced into this, and now you're paying 100 gold.
Right? Like,
I know he said it was gonna pay. I didn't think it would be that much.
I know. I'll pay him too. I think that's like close to all I have.
we gotta trade in these
Actually,
gems. These
only
uncut
one of
gems I
us-
got.
We're gonna have to feed it all to Brian and Cutter.
I know we can't even eat it. This
Oh man,
buffet.
it's like
You
a
guys are
buffet.
gonna look
We
like
can-
fools out there not eating all the blood and guts.
Victor tried to eat some and thought it was yummy before he almost got food
I mean-
poisoning and died.
well, I'm
It wasn't
damn
terrible.
pure, so blood's kind of my deal. I'm
Yeah, you're totally good. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the botulism now.
yeah.
Brian's gonna be huge.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be swole
Oh,
boy,
Brian's gonna fucking feast.
thick boy.
But before he goes
don't forget-
full banquet, let's kill some shit and make sure we're out of danger.
But we are
Yeah,
kind of
you-
looking. We've agreed we're looking for that tarot. Dude.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is.
you're all
this is
kind of
like-
just like, holy shit, it's this much to get in? Jesus fuck. And you're like kind of and you hear this voice from behind you be like, is that thing going in too?
Oh no.
Yes, he's with me.
her pet.
Kind of looks you up and down and is just like,
Do you check people for
I
fleas?
mean, they're kind of symbiotic.
I need him for emotional support.
He's like a giant flea.
Here are his
He's
papers.
got a collar on.
Yeah, all right.
Service.
All right. Shut the fuck up. All right. You can take him. Go.
You may want to watch. This will be fun.
And the guard kind of continues
here?
on, kind of chuckling the whole way. No. You're following up out this way. Let me just open up some more areas here real quick. Reveal areas. Nope, that's hide areas. Reveal area. Can you reveal, please? There we go. So these areas are opened up for you. And you follow the garden into this next area. And then this area is also revealed to you. And you find what appears to be, you walk through what appears to be this kind of like slave holding area with all these cells and a number of people. And as soon as you do, they kind of like jump to the front to see like who's coming in. And then when they see it's a bunch of Daracool, they just kind of like settle back down quietly into the back of their cells. And then you're led further on into this area down here, which appears to be like a staging area. There's a number of pretty low quality weapons on the wall. There's some shields. It's basically trash. It's the lowest possible quality of weapons for all of these things that you think would apparently be when they maybe give the slaves a little bit of a chance to do something. But this is a staging area. This guard just tells you to basically get yourself ready before you head out into the pit.
Okay, so at that time is when I'm going to drop my Claws of Darkness.
Okay.
So I get these long, ink-dripping claws that exude from my hands.
Gotcha. Ignore the horse sounds. There's no horses. There is a carrion beetle, though. From out in the pit, you hear this kind of commotion begin. It sounds like they're getting ready. They're basically waiting for you to kick this whole thing off. So, are there any other preparations you want to make for this?
No, you said all the weapons look like shit, right? So.
Yeah, they're pretty trash. Yeah.
Okay.
Some like crappy leather armor or some. This is clearly the staging area for the slaves to get kicked into it, not for the Daracool to, kind of get ready. You assume that they would be ready before they kind of made their way into this area, or they'd make their way into the pit from a different area. You do recall there is a way down into the pit. No, there's not actually. There is a large door here. You're not looking. You're too far to the right. There's a large door from where you guys walked through into the pit, and you assume that the Daracool or any creatures they might take in would come from that area. And you do remember growling coming from a closed door off to the side on the way in as well. So there's plenty of other entrances that the Daracool could get in through, but this appears to be, especially since it's coming from the slave cells, the area that the slaves enter through. So you have Claws of Darkness, which I actually need to read. You shape shadows into claws that grow from your fingers and drip inky blackness. You can make a melee spell attack with these claws that does 1d10 cold damage, and the claws have a reach of 10 feet, and its concentration up to a minute. All right, I'm going to put a little token on you to try to remember your concentration.
It is a cantrip, though, so concentration breaks.
Yeah, we'll give you a little spanner. That'll be concentration. Okay. So, is that it? You guys ready to go? Kick this off. It'll be a fun night. All right, a couple of things. All right. You can kill as many slaves as you want. You can eat what you want. You can't kill other Daracool, and don't touch the carrion beetle.
The carrion beetle, that's the one carrying the Daracool down at the south end, right?
Yeah, it's the giant fucking beetle.
Oh, okay. That was more meta than him, but yeah. Okay.
Oh.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't the thing in the pit he was referring to.
No, the thing in the pit, the Lord of Old Flesh himself. If you want to tangle with him, good fucking luck, mate. You kill him, you'll be a fucking god here.
We don't. I turn to everybody else. Don't need that kind of attention.
Irony.
You already sent one of those devil
from
fucks
you.
in there.
All right,
You ready?
let's kill some shit.
Let's fucking do it.
Ready.
And he pulls the door open, and you guys march out into this area. And as you do, there's like a hush over everything, and then this roar of the crowd as the noise picks up, and they're all calling and screaming out to you. I don't know. This music doesn't feel like the music.
Should we?
Let's do this. Refresh. No, roll 20. You piece of shit.
Here's something else, but it's kind of on top of the other sound.
How about that?
Yeah, I can hear something. I can hear shouting. and
Circe's drop
swords
me another
clashing.
bane. I appreciate that, Circe. All right. So should be some mild sounds of battle in the back. So as this battle actually kicks off, the doors slam behind you. And the first thing you see again are these humans just kind of scattering out of your way.
Oh, he ran. That's the first guy I wanted to
Yeah.
kill.
And these Darakul actually see you and see this almost competition. This is a little loud. And they actually start kind of making feints at you and laughing. You can see they have these expressions on their face. This is not the first time they've been in here, and this is not the first time they got the chance to murder all of these people. This Carrion Beetle and Darakul, actually, you hear this, I can't with NVIDIA broadcast, starts actually charging towards you and just barely misses you as he starts making the way around the circle, and like laughs as he turns around, and you almost have to roll out of the way as this thing does. And then it starts charging through these people, one or two actually going down in a bloody heap underneath its feet, before they all push up against the side. At this point, the mass of people is so great, it's actually blocking the pit almost, and they are all trying to get out of the way of this guy. Oh, I need you to fuck off. And he races around and does the same thing and kind of charges through all of you as he makes his way around laughing. And the crowd is actually starting to rile up. You know, you were told you're not supposed to fight or to kill the Darakul and the Carrion Beetle. But they appear to be using you as almost a way to rile up the crowd as they kind of like race through, and you guys all have to dodge out of the way. So first of all, why don't you all roll initiative? Let me make sure before you do that the turn order is empty. It is.
Okay. Got her. Crit, baby.
Mm-hmm.
What's my blue card?
Your blue card is. I don't have you as one. I have Matt and Jason with the blue card.
It's choose initiative.
Oh, didn't you sack that to get rid of a red a long time ago? Because I don't have
Yeah, I
you with the
did.
blue
I
card
think
at
you're
all.
right. I think I did,
Yeah.
but then I think I got another one.
I don't think so. I don't have it listed on any of the stuff. I don't have you with the token on it. L2.
Oh, you're right. That's gone. I don't have a blue.
Yeah.
You're totally right.
Jason has a red. Jess has a red. Jason and Matt have blues, and a lot of people have inspiration, which they just don't ever use. Don't forget, that green token is just the inspiration you get one of for probably making a dad joke or killing something in a fun way. And don't forget, an inspiration is just a reroll. You can use it anytime you want. You can't have more than one. So, let me roll a couple of Daracool rolls here. I can find their Daracool stat block and pop that out. This will be fun. +3. Okay. Five, 7, 21. So the guy with the carrion beetle actually has descending order. So, Cutter, as this whole crowd, this whole thing is laid out in front of you, you enter this arena. You see this tower up to your left. You see the crowd of people down to your bottom right, and surrounding you is just this mass of sweaty human flesh and the smell of rot and gore and blood just enveloping the entire area. You know, about 10, 15 feet away from you, you see the edge of this pit, and the edge of the pit itself has the most concentration of gore around it, where it looks like this tentacle just reaches up and rips people down into it every now and then. And surrounding you right now on all sides are these 3 armored Daracool kind of leering at you, but more so even at the slaves, and this carrion beetle. And they all seem to kind of be fucking with you a little bit. But as you are, this sense of anticipation is kind of rising from the crowd. You see the Daracool that called out before, and it kind of hushes everyone down as much as it can be hushed. It definitely doesn't end completely, as everyone out here seems to be in this bloodlust waiting for this event to start. And he says, "And now we begin." And all of the slaves, knowing what's going to happen, just kind of rush to the sides and try to get as far away from everyone as possible. At this point, the tokens are kind of be representative more than anything. There are so many people in here. If I filled it with tokens, there wouldn't be anywhere for you to move. So just assume this giant mass of slaves and other Daracool and things like that in a pit in the middle. What would you like to do?
So as this is all going down, I'm kind of just taken back to many, many years ago. And I keep my weapons sheathed and just kind of throw my arms to my side and lunge forward. Well, first I pull down my little mask I have covering the lower half of my face. I'm just completely entranced, and I lunge at this guy with my bite.
Okay. Why don't you roll to hit?
Okay. Where's my bite? I guess it's this unarmed strike. I'm gonna bless it too.
Okay. That absolutely hits. These guys are unarmored, basically already beaten up in what amounts to loincloths, just enough to hide their bits, and that's about it. So as we enter this combat, if you're going to be attacking the slaves and stuff, just their AC is 10. And whatever you want to do, I want you to be as descriptive as humanly possible. I want you to describe exactly what you're doing. The impetus of the gore and mayhem of this battle is on all of you to describe what you're doing and in what fashion you're doing it. So as you sheath your weapons, you lunge forward, you bite into this guy. You absolutely just sink your fangs, your teeth into him. What are you doing?
So is it going to be a damage thing, or like how are we going to do this? Or is it like every attack is a death, or?
Let me see how I actually want these guys to have... they have 4 hit points. So I would say none of you are capable of doing less than 4 hit points on a hit. So
Right.
I will just say every successful hit is a kill, and I'd like you to keep a tally.
Oh, okay. All right, so I lunge forward, like I said, at this guy, and I don't know if he's facing me or not, but I'll spin him around, and I'm literally gonna bite him right in the face,
Gotcha.
and sink my fangs in and just rip it off, basically.
You're ripping this guy's face off with your teeth.
with my teeth, yeah.
Very
best of
cut
my
of the
ability.
faceless.
Yes.
So yeah, absolutely. You spin the guy around, you grab on, you bite into his face, and you literally rip the flesh off, and you're just, got this whole guy's entire face in your mouth. Not as clean a face as you normally would have, but a face fruit roll up nonetheless, hanging from your jaws. Yeah.
And then I want to just kick him into the pit here, and then I'm going to turn to this guy and just spit a mouthful at him and grin.
Nice. When you do that and then spray comes out, the crowd just roars as you see that. And this Cyrodiil kind of wipes the blood off of his face. He's got armor on, he's got an armor and helmet, but it doesn't hide his face at all. And he just wipes it off and looks at you and just laughs. He's like, are you doing anything else?
Yeah, I'm gonna actually, once I get this guy, I'm gonna just use the rest of my movement and go over here to this next cluster of guys, and that's it.
Gotcha. So, the carrion beetle and this guy are the next ones that are up. And as they're kind of moving around, he'd kind of stop to watch as the battle kind of starts up around him. And he's like looking around. He hears you, and you sees you dash forward to make the first move, spray that blood, and he actually gets this intense look on his face. He's like, "Arr." And he races over here with the carrion beetle and just smashes both of these guys up against the wall, and you see them almost burst like balloons. Nope, not these guys. As he hits it with the horn of the carrion beetle and then just starts smashing and charging down as the carrion beetle rears up and he smashes the ground, and blood just spurts out and it actually sprays across the front of this crowd. And early on in the combat, they actually get their first taste of blood, and the crowd continues to go wild, almost reaching over the edge of the balcony, like trying to scoop it up off the walls and stuff. And next is Victor.
Yeah, so Victor has his mace in one hand. He's got this crazy looking goblin shield in the other. And he kind of swells up a little bit, just bangs the mace off the shield. And he's seen what Cutter has done, and he's kind of psyched because he hasn't fought in a while. So he just starts moving with a very definite pace. And I think at 30, he can be right here. And those 2 guys are lined up. And so what he's going to do first is to kind of make space to really get a nice underhand shot with the mace. He's actually going to shove one of the guys with the goblin shield and bite him, because he saw Cutter biting earlier. And so the goblin shield takes a nibble. Here we go. There we go. And that, yeah. So he gets 7 piercing damage. That one doesn't get a blessed strike. And then, so that guy gets bit, and hopefully it drops him. And then the other guy, hopefully as he leans back, he's going to take his mace kind of from a roundhouse, kind of coming up at him, so that when he hits his head, hopefully the blood will shoot out kind of towards the pit and kind of get the crowd pumped up here.
Gotcha.
Boom.
Absolutely, yeah. So you take out both of these guys with those attacks.
He does not. I'm gonna have to roll again because I didn't say bless. So can I just slap a bless on that? Because it's a miss by 1. Or I'll use.
You gotta call it first.
I'll use my inspiration. There we go.
All right, there you go.
Use
Use up that inspiration.
I mean, man, I want to hit this guy. Here we go.
Do you want to? No, you're re-rolling.
No,
22. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Goblin Shield gets the first guy, and your mace comes down and strikes the second guy. You don't even need to worry about doing damage.
Okay, gotcha.
Just do attack rolls. Yeah, these guys are so low. It's not really going to make much of a difference.
So the fear thing won't matter. Gotcha.
Yeah, Mama Guac, thank you so much for the resub.
And then he's used up all of his movement, and so he's gonna hang right there with Cutter and kind of see what he does next.
And then
all right,
I
so
should be next, but for some reason mine didn't pop up. I had clicked my token. That was a 14.
Oh nope. So let me add turn to you. And what was your initiative again?
14.
14, and let me just put this back in descending order real quick. And we are on. So Sylvester.
All right, I want to run to here, right behind carrying guy, but not so close. I can't. Well, I got 10 feet of reach, and this guy right there, I want to attack with my Claws of Darkness. So,
which guy are you attacking right now?
That guy.
Oh, okay, all right. I thought you were attacking the carrion crawler guy.
No.
Okay, so you're reaching out and attacking this guy with Claws of Darkness. Okay.
Yeah. So would that be a dex attack? I don't have for my basic melee.
That growth from your fingers. You make a melee. It's a melee spell attack, so it's just a spell attack. So you can just use your spell attack modifier.
Okay.
So it should be, I think on the top of your sheet, it's like the purple dice you can just click on in your spell areas.
Gotcha.
Plus 11. Nice.
Yeah, absolutely hits.
All right. And so do you want me to describe what I'm doing?
Yeah, please describe what the spell looks like, what happens.
So I've got these big, long, my range is 10 feet, so they're big, long, black, dripping claws. I'm going right for his neck. I want to decapitate him. And then as that happens, I'll step into his body and grab his head as it comes off and chuck that up into the crowd. And then start just from his neck, just start guzzling and drinking.
Absolutely. And as you do, the crowd goes fucking crazy. You literally start a brawl in the crowd, throwing this head in between two ghouls. A guard has to show up, and with the bottom of his spear is actually like beating these guys in the crowd to stop them from fighting over this skull. Pushes one aside. One triumphantly like holds the head up and is just like looking at you while you're like sucking the blood from this decapitated neck, and just starts biting into this thing's face.
And then
don't forget to keep a tally, guys.
Oh yeah. And while I'm there, can I see into the pit? Can I see where that Darrow is and the beast is?
So again, they're not all completely representative. At this point, there's so many people in the way of the pit in general, that you need to actually fight your way past them to look deeper into the pit. Why don't you roll me a strength check to try to fight your way through? Let me make this a little more representative.
Strength check. Here we go.
You literally have to force your way through this crowd of people that are trying to get out of the way.
So I'm assuming I don't get through.
So that's a save. So why don't you go ahead and roll me a check real quick?
Oh. Oops.
You still don't get through. Yeah.
Right.
As you're like biting this neck, you just kind of like start to like with the body still kind of dragging along to kind of push through. And
this
the
is
other
so
guys
good.
are literally, yeah, they're trying to fight their way, like from being pushed in the pit and being pushed against you. They're like pushing you away, kind of a couple of like light blows kind of land on you, but you know, these guys are basically emaciated and unable to fight, which is totally fine with the people that are murdering them. But yeah, you're unable to kind of force your way through this crowd of bodies that are like fighting their way away from the pit and from everything else. Are you doing anything else?
That's about all I can do right now. Yeah.
All right, Dariana, what are you doing? Oh, let's add turn for Brian too. Could you roll a Brian initiative? All right, give me 1 second. Descending. So Brian actually goes. Let's say he goes right after you. You guys literally have the same initiative. So you can go up first, and then we'll say Brian is right after you.
So I'm going to Eldritch Blast and twin it. So
Okay.
that makes 6 beams. Do I have to roll an attack for each?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm gonna
You
do
can
neg-
literally just slash roll 6d20, and then we can just see if any would even need your modifier.
Okay. Should I do 60, 20 plus 8? No. Okay.
No, because it'll do 20. It'll do the total
Wow.
of 60, 20 plus 8. So I just want to see what the 60,
I don't
20s
think that
individually are.
worked. I do it wrong.
You have a space between your 6 and your D. No spaces.
Yeah, no space in that D.
There we go.
All right, 12, 16,
One's
2
a
crit
one.
fails,
What?
a 17, and a 5.
It's trash. That one's like on the
so-
side.
What's your
2
modifier,
crit
though?
fails back to
8.
back.
Okay, so
What is your
I'm-
modifier?
Plus 8.
I'm sorry, what?
Plus
It's
8.
plus 8. So 1, 2, 3. The 4 that don't critically fail hit 4 targets. The 2 that do critically fail, as you're just kind of blasting off these eldritch beams, they actually strike the 2 Daracool in front of you.
No.
no.
No. I want to re-roll one of them. Can I re-roll?
You have an inspiration. You can reroll one of them.
That judge of power.
Yeah, literally just like the slow motion. Ah!
Are you
oh my
kidding me?
God. Oh my
No
God,
way!
Wow.
It happened.
The dice have spoken.
What? 1, 2, 3, 4,
That's
5, 6, 7. You rolled 3 critical fails out of
Lies.
7 rolls. That's
messed up.
insane.
That-
So it
that's-
definitely
You should get something for
hits.
that.
Yeah,
I
you should
know.
get something for
An
that.
award.
Yeah, and that is a terrible, terrible idea of hitting the Daracool that you're not supposed to kill. So you're literally just like blasting these out. Like you take out 4 of these guys, so you can mark down 4. We'll say that representative wise, like a couple of these guys over here. But as you're spinning around trying to find other targets, the Eldritch Blasts are just, there's so many, they're just letting go. And as you try to shoot past the 2 in front of you, they actually dodge towards some of the slaves and catch 2 Eldritch Blasts in their back. Just boom, boom. Could you roll damage for 2 Eldritch Blasts?
Oh, gosh.
No. Okay.
Yeah, Skull, that's exactly
Dariana.
what I thought. So anyway, I started blasting. So you do 9 and 8 damage on these guys.
Ooh. Don't go in the mosh pit if you don't want to get
Am
hit in the
I
teeth.
like? I feel like my dice are not showing up the right numbers, but whatever.
What do you mean? Like what rolls on the screen isn't coming through?
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
the
I think
dice
what the-
number isn't
I
the
think-
same as.
Yeah, the 3D dice are as best as they can be, but they might not roll through all the way completely correctly. But they turn around towards you and they're pissed. What the fuck was that?
Look behind me.
Points at Brian.
not at Brian, but like towards the opening where we came from.
Points at a gnome.
And like,
Yeah, they start to get prepped to actually start running at you. I'll
Oh,
give you one.
God.
Shit.
What do you
One.
want to do to try to? Yeah, one like opportunity to diffuse this slightly.
can I like throw one of the bodies at them?
You can do whatever you feel is gonna work for you.
I
So
don't know how
whatever-
to defuse this situation other than like offering them one of my kills.
You can then offer them one of your kills.
Okay.
You are a charisma-based caster, aren't you? Don't you have like a ton of deception and persuasion and all sorts of
Yeah,
stuff?
I do.
You're gonna persuade them not to attack you by taking one of the dead bodies you just did, and as you go over and pick up this dead body, what are you gonna say?
To them?
Yeah.
I'm terribly sorry. This is my first time. I'll try to be more careful here. Feel free to help
My bad.
yourself.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Where are you? Please no 1.
Didn't bless it either, huh?
Oh shoot! I would. I completely forgot about blesses.
Hey guys, don't forget you got blesses. I was gonna say maybe I'd give it to you, but I didn't let Matt use it on his late one, so I can't let you use it on yours. They're still pissed, but when you tally your kills, do not count this one.
Okay, so I have 3.
If you killed 3, if you killed 4, you have 3.
Okay.
They're still pissed. They're not completely over it, but they don't immediately attack you. And in the grand scheme of things, this is their kill. So as they kind of step over and claim that body, what is Brian doing?
I'm gonna have Brian come over here and envelop this guy and like start sucking out his blood.
Okay, why don't you roll me an attack roll for like the blood drain or whatever.
Okay. Does Brian get blessed?
Is this where they sing that yummy yummy song, Eric?
Is this a Wiggles joke?
Yeah. That's pretty
Oh,
good.
man.
Here, I'll just roll.
Thank God that's the Wiggles, not Justin Bieber. I thought you were making a
Oh.
Justin Bieber joke right there.
I don't know any Bieber.
Thank God.
Oh
It's been
wait.
so long you don't even have Brian's stat block anymore?
Oh wait, they just have to wait. Each creature in the elemental space must make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw. So
To stop the blood drain attack? Is there like a melee attack that he has against them or anything? Why don't you do like a what is his plus for a slam attack or something like that?
+6.
So yeah, so you hit with this guy. So he comes in and he just crunches down on this guy, and it literally envelops and like sucks into him as he crunches down on him. You can see the body break underneath the force of Brian hitting him, and just get pulled in. And even as you're watching, you see Brian like slowly swelling in size as this emaciated human form inside just starts to slowly raisen up. And is Brian doing anything else?
No.
He's just going to keep on draining that?
Yeah.
All right. This guy is going to race right past you, almost like he's charging you with his weapon drawn. And as you're kind of bracing and get hit by it, he actually drops a shoulder into you, knocks you out of the way, and strikes down somebody behind you. This guy laughs at that, laughs at you on the ground. You're prone now. And turns back around and starts laying into this crowd back here. Might as well actually roll attacks for these guys. Might as well see if they actually do hit. So we'll see if the first guy hit his guy. He does. And we'll see if this guy swings twice with his attack and gets both. So they does. So they All right. That's both. And Cutter, it's back up to you. As you're laying into this crowd of slaves, the crowd still
Okay.
you saw the head, get tossed up in, you assume, by something off to the other side of the pit, and the crowd go crazy.
So I'm going to, I'm going to dash, I'm not going to mechanically dash, but I'm rushing forward to this guy. And I want to leap over him and then come down on this guy
Okay.
with a wide open mouth. So whatever roll you need from the acrobatics or whatever.
Just do an attack roll. That's fine.
Oh, that's
You
it?
add your dex
Okay.
to that anyway. Yeah.
Well, no.
I'll
I
bane
think
it.
bite is not my bite is not dex.
That's right.
Then whatever
It's
you want to
strength,
do.
so.
Yeah. I'll say that you're clearly capable of jumping over a guy, so we'll just do the attack when
Then
you
I'll just
land.
do the attack.
Oh, I was gonna bane
Bless.
it just because. Oh, plenty. Yeah. So you blessed it, so I'll remove
Okay.
my bane. It's only 10. It's not even worth me wasting my banes right now. It'd be almost impossible
I know,
for you guys to
right?
miss.
So anyway,
Um,
I clamber over this guy, stand on his shoulders, leap over his shoulders, landing on this guy in front of me right here.
Yeah.
Just going for his neck, and I would like to
Mhm.
tear off his head if I can, eat through his neck, and then I want to hold it up high and try to hurl it over to these bleachers over here.
So you're just chucking heads into the bleachers
Chucking
now.
heads.
I will,
Chucking a head.
but let me.
That's a long throw.
Yeah, I know.
I was gonna say, let me.
Well, what I'm trying to do is
let
like
me-
arc it over the pit, so it's just this spinning head, like, you know,
Oh, yeah.
spattering blood.
Pinwheeling
Yeah,
viscera everywhere.
exactly.
Right?
If it doesn't,
Yeah.
if it doesn't make
I
it,
like
that's
it.
okay. But I'm gonna give it a shot.
So it's 40 feet. Why don't you roll me a athletics to see if you can throw that far? I'll say, let's say, I don't even know what throwing is. If you get DC 15
strength.
hits the crowd.
Okay, I'm gonna bless it.
Yeah.
All right. So you just want a, you said, athletics?
Athletics. Yeah.
Ah, okay. I barely made. Okay.
You
I made it.
is
I
that
made it. I
reliable
made it.
bullshit that you got? Is
It's
that how you
reliable
made it?
bullshit.
Reliable bullshit. That's such bullshit.
It's part of being a rogue, though, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
I'm automatically amazing at everything. Yeah.
But humble.
God
He's
damn.
humble.
I'm
though.
just making you roll investigation for everything. from now on. But yeah, you leap over this guy off the shoulders. You come down on this guy, bite completely through his neck, rip the head off, and then it just does this slow motion, just heave. And yeah, you see it spins. You get some nice flick on the wrist, so it's actually back spinning. And that this guy's face, his eyes are still open. He's still kind of like trying to scream this decapitated head as it slowly like dies on the way. And blood is just spinning out of the neck over the pit, slow-mo. The crowd is like fighting each other to reach up and grab the other head while this other guy is still munching on the first head that came into the crowd. And they all just reach up, climbing over each other to grab the second head. And they're like cheering. So now they're just heads in the crowd. You've definitely turned the crowd towards you guys like wholeheartedly as you're just chucking heads up into there. And yeah, that's what you do. Do you want to do anything else?
No, I'm gonna just keep moving to the crowd toward the bleachers.
Okay. As you are
This dead
moving
guy should be
away,
dead, right?
yeah, super dead. Yeah. Again, they're mostly representative. I'll mark it, but make sure you mark the kill. As you're moving away, I would like you to actually make a dexterity saving throw. I know this is
Okay.
fucking pointless, basically. Yep. As you begin to move away, you get this like fucking
Yep.
spidey sense of the rogue gods or whatever. And you just roll as you just feel something. And when you turn back, you actually see this tentacle reaching out and slapping everything off the edge of the pit right where you were just standing.
Oh.
And it actually pulls this guy down in, it pulls this guy down in, and this body down in as well.
Nice.
Down into the pit as this tentacle seems to have been reaching up to slap at you and just grabs everything else and pulls it down in.
And now that we're closer, I still can't quite see. It's just all blackness down there.
So now that you have kind of got this edge of the pit cleared out and you were able to dodge out of the way, you could take a peek down in if you wanted to.
Yeah, I want to kind of just glance over my shoulder. Clearly, I rolled out of the way, and so I'm seeing these guys being dragged down with these tentacles, so I'm going to take a look
Okay.
while that's happening. Oh, does that mean Fog of War is going away?
It's a giant tortilla.
Where is... Did you see that open up? Yeah.
Yeah, it opened up, but there's
give me 1
nothing
second.
below. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to... Why are you... There we go.
Oh, shit.
There we go. Roll 20.
It's Return of the Jedi.
You see this massive creature. Oh, I gotta totally forgot I had posted a couple pictures here for you. Let me drag some into this area. So first and foremost, I will show you the dude that's on the carrion beetle. But obviously it's a Daricool on top, but that is the massive carrion beetle that you guys can see. And then this is the Darrow that you saw, except he has this large breastplate with that withered hand kind of carved into the front of it. That is one of the creatures you see in the pit right now, is this. He seems to be the one that was pushed in, and he's battling this massive creature that's in front of him. And the massive creature that you see in front of him is... this.
Dude. What kind of height are we talking here?
This guy is huge.
Huge, okay.
In the size category.
Yeah.
So you're all medium, and then there is large, and I believe in top of large there is huge. So he takes up, if you actually look on the token, I think it's like 4x4 squares. So this guy is like what amounts to be like 20 feet wide and probably at least 20 feet tall, plus the tentacles.
Okay.
And Jason, as you see this, why don't you roll me a history or nature check to see if you recognize what this creature is.
Doesn't matter. Both plus zeros. So I do not recognize it.
You have no idea. The last time you were here, this is not the creature that was in here.
Oh,
Okay.
that's cool.
So,
Jace, where did you end up at the end of your move?
oh yeah, you can still move.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Because you did some acrobatic shit, right?
Yeah, just down here.
Okay. I'm gonna try to help you out here.
About full movement.
Gotcha. So, next up is Carrion Crawler guy. Sylvester, I'm going to move you for a second so I can grab these tokens. And he is going to, again, you guys can't necessarily see this, but for the story, he's getting kind of pissed because you guys are totally showing up the Daricool that were already in the pit. You just kind of showed up, went in, and now the crowd is loving you as you're feeding them these heads. And he is actually going to race around. This way, charging through this crowd, actually what appears to be eyeing down towards Cutter as he charges through. And as he does, the carrion beetle takes out 2 of these guys, and then he swings, taking out a 3rd. But he's clearly on a warpath heading towards you. And Victor, you are up.
Nice. Shit.
I moved myself back to where I was, by the way.
Oh yeah, no worries, thank you.
Okay. So Victor is gonna kind of. Oh man. Victor can see this dude is like on making a beeline for Cutter. Like, is that like an insight kind of thing, or what is that?
I mean, everything's happening kind of at the same time.
Okay.
And you're all still
no worries, yeah, because there's
battling the guys
millions
in front
of people
you.
in there.
There's a pile of people.
So I'm gonna straight up do what he was planning on doing. So he sees this, like, there's like a lineup of dudes, and I mean, this sucks for that carrion dude, but whatever. So Victor kind of takes like a step, kind of like a little bit forward, and then I'll draw a line here. He has this spell called Sudden Stampede that he thinks will be badass because it'll drive it right towards that gnome. So the idea was like to get these 2 dudes right here, to get both of these guys, hit these guys, hit this dude, and then I guess it's that guy's fault for being there because that was kind of the plan. And so he kind of reaches up, and you guys haven't seen this in a while, but these wild, like, spectral kind of necrotic horses. And I guess like he had seen the guy running around, like running things over with that freaking beetle, and he just thought it was awesome. And he loves, like, he hasn't seen horses in a while, so he lets out the Sudden Stampede. And it's kind of messed up though, Ryan, because the Sudden Stampede, they have to, like, it's like a sucker save kind of thing where it's like half damage. So it should kill all those dudes. Even like if they make their saving throw, it should kill all the dudes in that line. And then I guess he'll have to make I don't think it'll hit the Darical. Well, yeah, it hits both of them. It hits the beetle and the Darical.
And and this goes for 60 feet, huh?
Yeah, it goes like, because my idea was like I wanted to just get the crowd pumped and knock all these guys off the line to give Cutter range. So I wanted to go like, because I can start it where I want. So I wanted to start it. I'll show you again. I wanted to start it here and go right at that gnome was my plan.
So 60 feet will put those up into the crowd.
Well, they go on the plane though. They can't go up into the air. So like,
okay,
they'll disappear into the wall basically. And I just thought that would look badass because it'll be like bowling, and the bodies will just get bludgeoned and exploded kind of up into the crowds, kind of thing.
Okay, sure, go for it.
And so
yeah, so they
So it should kill anybody that you think is in that line, like from here to here. It's a 10-foot wide line, and then it looks like it's going to hit that dude, unfortunately. So I'll have to pull a Dariana here, and he'll have to do a saving throw and take either 29 or half a 29.
Yeah, so him and the beetle are going to do the saving throw. And what kind of save is it?
It's a Dex DC 17. I put it up in the... God, that sucks that he ran.
The beetle fails. And the Darical...
And then if he fails,
succeeds.
So the beetle's prone, but the guy is not.
Well, he's on the beetle, so.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Yeah, so basically, they're prone, like right there. Like cut the legs out under him.
Gotcha. Okay, so this spectral horses race through, and basically, so they, even if they go over like the pit, they stay in a straight line. Is that what you said?
Yeah, well, my idea was that it was going to be here. It was going to ride the edge of the pit.
Oh, right to the edge of the pit.
And it was going to go right at the gnome.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you're trying to be cool for the gnome.
For the whole show, right? Because we had talked to them in Nagrimi, and and trying to blast the bodies like up into the...
Gotcha. So you wipe out a number of these guys. You roll damage for me.
I did. It's 29.
All right, so 29 damage to this carrion crawler as your
Ugh.
spectral horses kind of flip it over.
And unfortunately,
Um,
that dude takes half
Yeah.
off the bear claw.
So that will be 28, 14 damage.
Yeah.
And as you clearly cast this and it rides forward, it does look cool. The stampede happens. All of these humans are going. So take like let's say like it's a crowd of people. Say 8 deaths you get from this stampede, and it disappears into the wall. But as you do, the crowd is actually instantly silenced as the carrion beetle is kind of like tipped up and rocked over. And you see this guy leap to his feet, and he's like, ah! Screaming. These guys all leap forward too. They are all looking at you.
Yeah,
like
he's finishing his move. Like as he comes around these bodies, he's like, "What the fuck did I just do?" And so he's got like.
You get the sense you just fucked up real big.
Oh, I know. 5, 10. Yeah. Yep.
All right, we'll see what the repercussions
of
that is.
Fog of war.
Yeah. Sylvester, you're up.
So I'm gonna step over here, and that guy's getting the same Claws of Darkness. I'll roll it. So 13.
Yeah, absolutely hits. Yeah. So what are you doing with them?
I'm going kind of a scoop up, like right up his privates to chin.
Split him down the middle?
Yeah, just trying to rip out a bunch of his entrails and guts and everything, and chuck those towards the crowd.
Yeah, you just like scooping stuff out into the crowd now. Just literally, you're like the orca at the at the aquarium, just like scooping it up in there. And the crowd that had been kind of hushed immediately starts, raising their voices up again as guts just splatter all over them.
I wanted loose entrails, so it kind of scattered. So
yeah, you spray the majority of the crowd with it. Absolutely.
And then, can I see that Darrow yet? I don't want to meta.
You're kind of scooping your way through. Why don't you roll me another strength save to push through the last couple of guys, and it'll be like a DC 10.
Okay. Save or just check?
Check.
Not that it matters. Okay, an 11.
Yeah, you're able to push your way through. You'll use your movement to get to the edge of the pit, kind of forcing your way through this difficult terrain. And yeah, you see the Darrow like in combat with this giant creature, and you get a look at this giant creature as well.
Okay, so can I say something to him?
Sure, you can scream down and see if he hears you.
Well, I'm not gonna scream. I'm gonna use my telepathic.
Oh, well then yeah, sure. Yeah.
And I'm just gonna say, Darrow, get to this side, the east side, if you want to live. And that's kind of all I probably have time to say in the key to this moment.
Okay. Dariana, you're up.
Okay. I'm prone, so I'm gonna get up. And I'm gonna move 1, 2, 3, I guess here.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to Eldritch Blast these 3 guys. So.
Oh, which 3 guys?
The ones like along this wall in front of me.
Like this guy, and this guy?
Yeah, the ones that are still alive.
Okay, go for it.
So
you have
what is
disadvantage when they're in close. If you want to just have taken a step back, you could totally do that. So just roll, if you're just doing 3 beams, you can just roll 3d20s, and we'll just add the modifiers and anything low.
Okay. Is it r/ or slash r?
Slash roll. Yeah.
Okay. 3d20. Please no ones.
No ones. No even need for
Yay.
modifiers. Yeah, you move around this other Darecool and continue to keep blasting. And what does it do? What do the beams look like? What happens to the guys when they get hit?
I would like to, I guess there's like a head theme, so maybe I'll try to get him in the neck. so that their heads pop off and like blood spurts straight up. So it's like a
Gotcha.
fountain. All three of them make fountains.
Yeah, it's all force damage. So you literally like blast their heads off, and they all fountain up into the area. Just the crowd's kind of like leaning around the corner, trying to see down this area. This guy, like all these guys, are still quiet and pissed. You guys don't really notice this, but this Daracool makes his way over to this guy and has a conversation, and then this guy leaves to go do something. And
so if I have any more movement, I'll just like go and kind of like bathe in the showering blood a little. And
sure,
then,
I'll say that you could actually, yeah, absolutely. You can have enough movement to go bathe in the blood as it just kind of falls on you. You're already coated in blood, so it doesn't make much of a difference.
okay. I just love blood so much. And then Brian, I want him to slam this guy and try to win.
The Daracool or
No,
the...
no.
Okay, this guy. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Do an attack.
try to engulf him. So
Mm-hmm.
oh wait, I have a Brian Slam button. What's that? Okay, so he does 12. Well,
12, yeah.
He hits
plus
for
the
12.
damage and stuff. So yeah, he absolutely crushes down on this guy. Does he pull him in too with this emaciated, almost
Yes.
skeletal thing left in it? So now it's basically just this like blood goop lava lamp of like parts now kind of floating in him, because the first guy is drained so dry that it actually starts to break apart when he pulls in the next guy as he starts to move, and he pulls this body in and he starts to suck up that blood as well. This guy here, there's no one left to murder over here, I don't think. So he's gonna charge over this direction, just start laying into the crowd. He'll do his +5s. Oh, the second one misses. So the other guy got one of these. This guy would get this one. Misses with the second attack. The slave rolls out of the way. The other guy here, he's just going to start laying into some people as well. They see the common theme of heads, so now everyone, and he misses both, charging into this crowd. They all scatter out of the way as he's swinging for necks, noticing that the crowd is loving this head action that you guys are just decapitating and chucking them into crowds and stuff. So he slices, and both of them just kind of dive out of the way, and he actually misses both attacks on these guys. I knew that I was gonna say. And then Sylvester, I will need you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Saw this coming.
Bless.
Dex. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm gonna throw it.
Oh yeah, I'll Bane too. Thanks for
I'm
the
gonna roll
reminder.
my Dex. I'll still bless it, but and then oh shoot, I forgot. Oops, wrong line. So
Okay.
15.
So as you're standing there, this massive tentacle reaches out of the pit and latches onto you.
Cool.
No.
No, I'm good with it.
Oh.
Drags you down into the pit.
Oh, plausible.
Awesome.
Right where
Going
you
to
want to be.
pit, yo.
The Darrow.
Yep.
You take 5 points of damage as you smash into the ground.
Yeah.
And it's soft.
Well,
and
yeah.
squishy and sticky. And as you look around inside this pit area, as you're kind of being dragged towards this massive creature, it's nothing but just a layer of bloody, gory goop across the entire bottom. that is just coating you. And let's actually put in a turn for this guy. And we'll just give him 30. Starts the round. So Sylvester, you have now, this guy's dead. I'm actually gonna I'll move some of these guys back a little bit, give you guys some room, or just put them on the GM layer, just so you're not worried about the bodies. Let's just get these guys out of here. This guy's out of here too, but he's dead. So you have room to move once you get in. So you are pulled down into this. Cutter, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm assuming I don't see this because of all the chaos.
I mean, your perception is impossible below a 20. Why don't you roll me a perception check? We'll say DC 20. When the tentacles slam, you do feel this kind of like thump across the terrain that you're in now when they hit over the edge.
Okay. So perception. Ooh, just barely. 21.
Just barely with my roll of 4 do I get a perception above a 20.
I got 10.
Actually, yeah, as you roll and you're still moving towards the crowd, you see this carrion crawler and the Daracool on it, like looking at you, pissed, racing towards you, crushing people. And as you look just past the carrion crawler, well, actually, the carrion crawler gets rolled out of the way by these horses you know to be your companions. This thing is prone now on the ground. And as it gets rolled out of the way by these horses, where it was just standing, you see behind Sylvester, and this tentacle suddenly reach up, latch on, and drag him down into the pit.
Oh shit! And so when I caught a glimpse of that pit when I was nearby, could I tell about how deep it was?
Yeah, it's about like 30-ish feet deep.
Oh, 30 feet. Shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So
the
I'm
creature
going...
inside is about 20 feet. It's only there's about 10 feet above its head, before it falls in.
Okay.
But as Sylvester now knows, and you're not quite aware yet, the bottom it's not a hard fall. It's literally just a layer of sloppy goop left over, stomped on, guts, blood, gore, shit, piss, and everything else you can imagine coating the bottom of this.
Right, but so I'm running to the side, just hopping over these dead bodies to the edge. So it's 30 feet, so there's no way I'm gonna jump down there without taking damage.
I mean, you have your you can always half damage so you can see, this kind of thing. I mean, at 30 feet, 30 feet, it's high. It's not that high. I mean, I've dropped down from 20 feet at the climbing gym before, but it's not that bad, so.
Okay. All right, then screw it.
Try to grab onto the edge.
Yeah,
and make it
I'll do that.
25 feet. You can try to slide into an area. You can try to grab like maybe a rock edge or something.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll try to lower myself down.
Then make me an athletics check, and we'll say that over a 10 will reduce it. Yeah, it doesn't fucking matter. Yeah, you'll take 1d6 damage.
Okay.
That you can take half of,
okay.
Because of your rogueness.
So 3
so you
2?
take, yeah.
Here.
You basically slide yourself off the edge, climb a little bit, down a couple of rocks, and then let yourself down. And you land on your feet. You feel the squish. It still kind of like impacts a little bit. You take 2 points of damage.
Stub your toe.
Okay.
You stubbed a toe, yeah.
Of course.
As you whatever that movie with Tom Cruise is, where he like hangs on the rocks backwards and something, you like make your way, you do that, you drop down and just zoom, like fucking Marvel superhero drop down into the pit. And you are now in the pit.
And with your amazing perception, you see me just roll my eyes like, why? Why'd you come down here?
You're rolling your eyes while you're being dragged into this mouth by a tentacle.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Doing anything else?
That's exactly what I'm doing.
I guess that's pretty much my action, so I'm gonna just stay right there for now.
Okay.
Well, actually, I want to do a. Sorry, I want to do a. I know I have a bonus action, which would be just dodge, I guess. So I'll kind of get in a defensive.
Totally
I'll just kind of get in a defensive stance, just kind of taking stock of my surroundings. Yeah.
Absolutely. So as you do that, this carrion crawler, the Daracool next to it, because the thing is like on its back, like doing this, and the Daracool next to it, it pushes up against it and is kind of like rocking it, and rocks far enough that it's able to actually tip it a little bit over and get it onto its feet, and crawls back up on top of it. But that's basically its entire action, and now completely ignoring the slaves. Looking up to see where Cutter was, but then looking past and trying to find where Victor is. It sees Victor, and it literally points at you.
Yeah.
And gives you one of these, and gets prepared to start charging towards you, and that's all it can do on its turn. But you saw Cutter,
go over
turn and go over the pit. When you look around, you don't see Sylvester either. What are you doing?
So Victor kind of just takes a step towards them and just makes straight eye contact with them, like just really deep connection. And Daracool screams like, what the fuck were you doing? And then he casts Healing Word at a really high level so that the guy knows, like, he's staring right at him, and he screams out this like Healing Word in Daracool, so that dude knows it's exactly him that's healed him. So he does. So he heals all the damage, right? Because it was under 20 per half on the Daracool that just hopped up on the. Okay, and then as he sees that, then he takes a step, and then at that point, he sees where Cutter is. He sees the Darrow. He knows, like, with his heavily armored state, like, it doesn't make sense at this point to like dive in there, and so he's gonna hold an action. And I think he can still do a cantrip. So if the monster puts Sylvester in its mouth, like if it gets to his teeth, he's gonna put a Toll the Dead on the monster.
Okay.
And then if it doesn't go into his teeth, then it's just gonna fizzle out.
All right. Dariana. So at this point, the crowd is thinned enough that after you are just kind of standing there and the arterial spray finally lessens and you get this fresh blood coating over top of your blood armor that just kind of like soaks in and fuels it a little bit, you turn around and in quick succession, what you see is this carrion crawler get tipped over by horses are Victor's, and then immediately see this arm reach out, pull Sylvester in, Cutter race over to the edge. What you see is him kind of leap in, even though he actually grabs onto a rock and kind of lowers himself down, and then immediately see Victor like racing over to the side and preparing to like cast this spell, looking down into the pit. What are you doing?
Well, it seems like they have that covered. I want to win this. I'm gonna keep killing guys.
Okay.
In it to win it.
I'm gonna come over here and Eldritch Blast these 3 that are in front of me.
Can you like long click on the ones you're talking about? Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, roll 3d20.
Come on, Jess.
I'll bane all 3.
Okay, I'll bless all 3.
Okay.
1, 4, 1. Well, with your modifier, the 13 even minus 4 goes to what, a 9 plus your, I don't know, probably 8 or something like that. So all 3 hit. So I lose 3 banes, but you lose 3 blesses.
I do.
And Ryan, I should be down to 9 actually.
think I must have missed one of yours. What are you at?
For me or Jess?
You.
9. I should be at 9.
Oh, you're at 10, so you're at 9.
That's
Okay.
what you had on the sheet. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So describe this.
Yeah, I'm just gonna continue my theme of getting them in the neck and spilling blood everywhere.
Gotcha. So you're literally just like walking around, basically popping people's heads off with these Eldritch blasts. Just boom, boom, boom. It's like that scene from Kingsman at the end that made the movie terrible, with just the heads just like shooting off and like that smoke stuff coming out, but it's just blood sprays just shooting out all around you. Just this cloud of blood now spraying down. And as soon as one ends, you turn around and blast some more, and more blood sprays down. So that's 3 more for you. What about Brian?
Brian's gonna try to slam the guy next to the guy he just like
Go for it. Roll that slam action.
It's a good slam
Yeah.
action.
You absolutely slam him. And at this point he pulls this one in, and just like bits of completely like almost dry, just kind of like coated in Brian goo bits are just like pushed out the back of him because he's being filled up with too much human jerky is what's left. And he's actually getting more towards almost the entire size of what he was before, draining these 3 guys.
Nice.
So he can be back to max health right now, just not at, he'll stay at the health he's currently at, but his max health will be up to, I think it's 75 or whatever.
Okay. So if I move here, can
95.
Yeah. Can I peer in and see them from here?
Yeah.
Or not? Okay.
Yeah, if you want to, I mean, step in. I mean, if you want
I
to
don't
see,
want to get
step to the edge of
super
the pit.
close, but I want to.
Well, if you want to see them, you got to step to the edge of the pit.
All right, I'm distracted. I'm focused on winning this game.
Gotcha. Well, you're soaked and covered in blood, so. Hey, Biscuit Eater, thank you so much for the raid.
She's fueled with the anger of knowing that her book is near. And so she's taking it out on these poor slaves.
There you go. So actually, Sylvester, as you are ripped off the side, dragged down, slammed into the ground, and are now being slowly pulled towards this creature, you see Cutter just land right next to you.
So I roll my.
Sorry, Biscuit Eater, but as you're being pulled towards this mouth, that's where we're going to end our session for this week.
Oh, nice.
I had a thing.
Start with the thing next time. Again, thank you so much, Biscuit Eater. We really appreciate the raid. The timing, unfortunately, this happens to us all the time as well. We'll raid into people that are just about finishing up. So let me wind down some of this music just a little bit. And thank you all so much for being here. As we have made our way down into the pit of all flesh. And you guys encountered the Lord of Old Flesh, this giant creature, 20 feet high, tentacles flailing around, dragging down anyone that comes into the sides as you murder the slaves of the Ghoul Imperium all around you, tallying up the bodies that land. Yeah, that's where we'll pick up next week. So, do we have any housekeeping to wrap up? Jason, do we have any final thoughts on what our next Thursday TTRPG night's gonna be?
Yeah, I think we decided to do another Merkborg arc.
Okay.
And then after that, another new game, and I think we'll just kind of switch back and forth until all of the players die, I guess. Or the world ends.
Or the world ends.
Yes. Or the world ends.
For those that have played Merkborg, it is a very, very real possibility that the world can and will end at any given time. The dying world will, in fact, die. As we talked about it at the top of the hour, at the top of this session, Jess will be fulfilling one of the Channel Point Redemption community goals. We should start up with another one soon. I think the next one is going to be Eric, and I think we will announce what that could potentially be soon. probably after Jess finishes hers, because I think that puts us at 2 out of 3 of our 2 out of 4, but one's newer, of our goals completed, which was Jess runs a one-shot, where she'll be running a cheese themed one-shot.
So awesome.
Which will be quite
Running a
so good.
cheese.
running a cheese. And I've seen some of the early graphics and stuff for it, and I think this cheese one shot might turn into a cheese campaign run by Jess. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes. And then at some point in the future, Matt and I had our first meeting talking about what his Channel Point Redemption is going to be. Not Channel Point Redemption. Most deaths in Tomb of Mercy had to run a one shot. Matt died the most by a fair margin. He'll be running a one-shot. We talked about it. It sounds amazing. I'm very excited for it, for the tie-ins, and for everything that comes with it. So we will schedule that sometime after Jess's. So I think the near future of the game is Dark Kingdoms will continue. And we are quickly approaching our 2-year anniversary of running it. Close to 1 year-ish on stream. We're getting there. I think we're 2 months away from that, so we're about 10 months on stream, about 2 years.
Is it September 4th?
Entire game, September 4th is 2 years of us running the game. This was my home game, our home game that we switched to stream when the pandemic was kind of hitting it, and thus Adventure Archive is born. So I think the near future is Dark Kingdoms will continue for the foreseeable future on Wednesdays. We're going to pick up another Merkborg arc on Thursdays with potentially something like Call of Cthulhu or something coming up after that.
Yep. I believe that's next.
Merkborg and other games. Jess at the beginning of September will be running Cheese. Matt sometime probably October, November will be running a one-shot. And then throughout that, after Jess is done, we'll be doing a community challenge for Eric to run a one-shot. And that is the foreseeable future. So did I miss anything?
You got it.
Hey, and we got a bless for Jason from Skull. Thank you so much, Skull.
Oh, thanks, Skull.
Jason gets a bless. So, I think that's kind of where we're at. Let me find a raid real quick, and we'll pass on the raiders that just raided into us. Why don't we just hit up a good friend of the stream? We will raid into Phoenix. It's been a minute since we did that. Phoenix is running Out of the Abyss, battling Darrow Savants. Considering you guys are trying to save a Darrow and they're trying to kill one, it seems. So why don't we go ahead and raid into him?
And we're idiot savants. So there you go.
Yeah, well there you go. That's exactly what it is. So stick around. We'll do some thank yous for the end. Again, thank you all so much for the hype train at the beginning. Amerisun, Janelle, all you guys are fantastic. Thank you all for submitting all of your channel points to give the players some blesses and banes. And we will see you. I don't think there's anything next week. Oh, and for those that weren't in our Discord, first of all, join our Discord. And secondly, our Theros game on Mondays, run by Andy, who plays Beat 'em Doppelrune. Our campaign is on an indefinite hiatus as new jobs and the world are kind of getting in the way of our good fun. So we will make an announcement at some point in the future when we're able to continue that game. But for the foreseeable future, the Monday Theros game will be on hiatus. So if you want to catch up on old episodes or old arcs, you can hit our website, beautifully crafted by Janelle. And catch up on all of our VODs and everything on our YouTube channel, which is curated by Jason. So stick around as we run these credits real quick, and we will raid into our good friend Phoenix. Good night, everybody.